Big fluff.
Hey everybody, I'm Joel Murphy.
And I'm Andy McIntyre.
And this is Silver Linings Playback, the podcast where we watch maligned movies and we find their silver linings.
And it's our thinnest theme of the ever for the month of November. Turkeys are a bowling thing, so we're watching bowling movies. And this is our second movie in a row with one bowling scene tangentially related to the plot.
If there's a real connective tissue so far, it's one actor from the Big Lebowski and one bowling scene in these bowling movies that we're discussing.
Yeah. And so this time it is I'm going to call it unofficial sequel to the Big Lebowski, Jesus Rolls, written by, directed by, and starring one John Turturro.
Yes. Yeah. That came out fairly recently. Came out in the 2020s. This movie.
I think 2019 is when it actually got released.
Yeah, but it's a good 20 years after the Big Lebowski. And none of your favorites besides the Jesus are in this movie. It's just Turturro.
Listen, the biggest maligning of this movie that I'm going to put it out there is Liam wasn't in the movie.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like, just what a shame. And Liam, who I think you told me only has one screen credit, which is the Big Lebowski, not returning for the Jesus roles seems inexcusable. I
like to think that he was asked and said, nah. And not even for the Bobby Cannavale part, like just like to be in the movie.
He was actually asked to do the Susan Sarandon part.
He was asked to play the Pete Davidson role.
But yeah, no Liam, absolutely no Liam, no Jeff Lebowski, no Donnie, not that Donnie would be in it, but no Walter, no Sam Elliott, no Maude,
no Bunny. What was Tara Reid doing? She had free time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, just absolutely. But this movie is so weird. So it's
Peter Stormare.
Which, if I know one thing about Peter Stormare, who I love, is that man doesn't know he's allowed to say no to movies. Like, he will do literally any movie at any time.
And as long as he doesn't figure that out, I let's not tell him. Let's not mention that again on this podcast.
No, because it would be a shame. Because, like, you know, like, seriously, he has an agent somewhere who is just sitting there going like, oh, you need a Eastern European gangster? I know just the guy.
Let me get Stormare on the line. He'll be there in 10 minutes.
If he doesn't pick up on the second ring, my rate is free.
I feel like then it just cuts to him. His cigarette is like burned down to the filter and he's just like, I'll do it.
But yeah, so none of the people are things that you love. And I think we also should talk about the fact that, you know, the screen time that Jesus has in the Big Lebowski is, I'm just trying to pull it up. I don't know if you have it, but it's like,
it's short.
It's about like 5 minutes of screen time, I want to say.
Yeah,
it's not,
if that.
It's not long. It's 2 scenes. The man is in 2 scenes in the movie. Like,
and one could argue steals the movie in those 2 scenes.
I mean, look, I love The Big Lebowski. We obviously don't really get a chance to talk about it because it's a beloved cult classic film at this point. But he gets one of the greatest introductions ever, which is just the Gypsy Kings start playing and he's at the bowling alley and this close up of him licking a bowling ball. And it's a cover of Hotel California, which in and of itself is a good bit because there's the whole running thing with Jeff Lebowski, the dude,
Hating
like not really
Eagles.
liking the Eagles. So it's great. You get this shot of him bowling. You get him and Liam. There's two scenes where, he talks shit about playing them in the tournament and how he's going to defeat them. And then they push the tournament back because of Shomer Shabbos. And then he says that it's psych out, bullshit and says he's going to beat them anyway. And that's it. That's the entire. And we find out that he is a sex criminal, that he has.
Yes, he is a pederast.
Yeah.
8-year-olds,
And we get like one shot of him going door to door, telling his neighbors that he lives in their neighborhood. And that's it. So it's a lot. He has a coke nail. He has a hairnet. He hangs out with Liam, who is a very square man, both like doesn't seem cool and also just literally square, like in the way that he's built. Yeah.
Also, the Jesus is canonically hogged out.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That he wore in costume in Big Lebowski, he wore a bag of birdseed in his pants to represent being hogged out.
Mm-hmm. As you do.
As you do.
Yeah. So it's like he's a character that is not of consequence to the movie, but is just meant to, in two quick scenes and two quick flashes, give you some sort of hint at like this weird, colorful character also exists in this movie full of weird, colorful characters, just as a day-to-day guy they deal with.
Yeah, along with the landlord that also is a interpretive dance performer.
Yeah,
Bunny
and the
David
nihilists
Thewlis playing the guy that giggles, and the nihilists.
Yeah, the clueless thugs that break into the wrong Lebowski's apartment that launches everything.
Jackie Treehorn.
Mm-hmm. He treats objects like women, man. But yeah, it's great. Like, but I say all that because I'm sure if you're listening, you probably already know that, to get into what I think is the core fundamental issue. And I think there are other issues that we can definitely talk about, but it's like maybe 5 minutes of screen time, 2 scenes, fun character. That's it. And everything else about Jesus Quintano is just your imagination. It's left to you to decide this guy's interiority, this guy's life outside of the bowling alley. And that's fun. That's exactly what he should be. This movie, he's the star.
I was going to say, and instead he's in a near beat for beat remake of the 1974 French film Going Places, which was the breakout role for Gérard Depardieu.
Yeah, which is a pretty controversial and somewhat reviled 70s French film that is based on a book. And it, is mostly notable for launching Gérard Depardieu's career. It does seem, and I wanted to know what you think about this, that John Turturro, for whatever reason, wanted to remake that film, knew he could not get the money to do so, and slapped the name of this character onto it.
Yeah. I will say, to Mr. Turturro's credit, and this is not a reason to silver line this movie, significantly less sexual assault in this one than in the 74 French film.
Well, okay. So let's do this, because as a sort of spin-off of the Big Lebowski, I think it is an abject failure. As a reimagining or a remake of Going Places, I think it's successful.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think that's correct. I think that is the correct take.
Yeah, because I think the biggest problem with this movie is that anyone who goes like so if we believe that Turturro Trojan horsed this movie and he basically convinced the studio to pay for one movie while delivering a different movie, that's perfectly fine and whatever, that's his prerogative to do so. But I think the biggest problem is no one who watches this movie is primed to watch this movie and enjoy it. They're not getting what they think they're going to be watching.
Well, and I think that's the interesting point, right? That is this movie better if it's just a remake of Going Places and John Turturro isn't playing the Jesus? No, I don't know.
Like I said, I don't think it's better content wise, but it's better in priming the audience for what they're going to watch. Like for expectations wise, it's better.
Yeah, you might be right about that.
Although who knows? I mean, I can't speak to how the hardcore fan base of the film and or book Going Places feel. Maybe they hate it. Maybe they feel this is a toned down bad retelling of that. I don't know. I don't want to know. I don't want to speak to those people.
Yeah, no, I don't want to know the person that loves Going Places for its narrative merit.
Yeah, so
those people are
absolutely
not my friends.
No. So, but it's just, like it's they at least know what they're getting into. And I think I definitely didn't know what I was getting into. And I imagine you did not either when we sat down to watch this. And I think the other thing just at the start, and then maybe we can get a little more granular in this, is this movie is less than 90 minutes long and it feels 8 hours long somehow.
It is interminable.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not a long movie. It's right in that sweet spot. It feels so long that it doesn't deserve the under 90-minute silver lining. I'm going to say it right now.
Absolutely not, because it didn't feel under, like when I know it's 90 minutes going in and I check the time because I'm like, well, it's got to be almost over. It's 90 minutes and there's still 30 minutes left. That is a failure of a movie.
Well, because that's the thing. And I think what makes this feel long is that it is a series of basically unconnected vignettes that are only together. Like there's no narrative thrust to the movie. It's just the longest 3 months in these dudes' lives.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or these three people really, because Bobby Cannavale, the aforementioned Jesus Quintana, and Audrey Tautou. How did he get this cast?
Yeah, well, I think we should put a pin in that because we definitely should talk about the cast in the second half of this this discussion. But yeah, I guess also just to like properly set it up, the movie starts with Jesus being released from prison, which gets Christopher Walken in a cameo in this as the warden. He's released. Bobby Cannavale and him immediately reconnect. They steal a car from John Hamm. We weren't kidding about all of the celebrity cameos and like parts in this. And then while they're stealing the car from John Hamm, that's when they get her, right? Like when she joins them.
Well, when they return the car after going to meet his mom, who is maybe a prostitute.
Oh, she's definitely a sex worker. His mom. Absolutely. Yeah. Like, cause she's like with a John when they arrive, and then he shames the guy for, which also like, yeah, I don't know. Like you showed up at your mom's house unannounced and she was having sex with someone, and then you were mad at the guy for having sex with your mom. I don't know. I feel like that's on you.
Yeah, I feel like that is definitely a you problem. The mom also a Golden Globe and Academy Award nominated Oscar or actress. I forget her name. It's not Alice Braga, but it's something along those lines. This movie's cast is ridiculous.
But yeah, so then the three of them end up together, and yeah, they just kind of go on low stakes somewhat. Like, weirdly, I mean, they're like stealing cars and people are getting shot and stuff like that, but everything still feels pretty low stakes somehow. Adventures, and
they go on a wacky adventure. Sonia Braga is the actress's name. Anyways.
Yeah. And so they meet a variety of people, including Susan Sarandon, who's also being released from prison. There are not one, but two threesomes in this movie. Which, who do you think you are, Clint Eastwood? With your number of threesomes in the movie that you star in and directed, Turturro.
Although, oddly, all the threesomes involve both John Turturro, Bobby Cannavale, and then a woman.
Mm-hmm. Susan Sarandon.
And Audrey Tautou.
And Audrey Tautou in the other. And there's an entire subplot about how Audrey Tautou doesn't have an orgasm. She slept with a lot of people and never had an orgasm. And then she has a threesome with them, doesn't have an orgasm. They meet Susan Sarandon, who they have sex with her. She has a really fun time. And then she ends her own life. And then they go to the male prison to meet her son, who's Pete Davidson, and they take him back with him, and then he has sex with Audrey Tautou, and then she has an orgasm with him because he's so terrified he doesn't know what to do, so she does all the work.
And she's into it. Is this where the Pete Davidson mythos starts?
If that's his move, respect. if that's Pete Davidson's entire way of getting women is to pretend that he doesn't know what he's doing and have them do all the work, like, you know, genius move.
Yeah.
Also, Pete Davidson, he did a whole SNL thing where he talked about the Clint Eastwood movie where he has two threesomes. So I'm sure he was excited.
Yeah.
To be in this movie. Him with John Mulaney, and he talked about it. But yeah, then they hang out with Pete Davidson for a while, and then Pete Davidson shoots a prison guard, and then they all have to go on the run. And then it just kind of ends. Like,
ends with them hitchhiking.
Yeah, their car breaks down, the wheel falls off, and then they're hitchhiking at the end.
Yeah.
Which, if you were like, I thought you said this was a spinoff of the Big Lebowski, you get it now. That's really the problem.
Oh, and at one point they do go bowling and almost hook up with a couple of young Latina women.
Mm-hmm. But
and then don't.
Jesus ruins it. Yeah. And in that they do. So the other thing, so now that we've talked about the remake of the French movie part, the attempt to at least like lazily pay homage to the Big Lebowski, the reason we're all watching it, that bowling scene is basically trying to recreate the vibe of his intro scene in the Big Lebowski. They're sort of playing similar music and it's shot in a similar way. He licks the bowling ball again. So you get all that. And he says probably every memorable line that he has in the Big Lebowski in this movie at some point. He talks about taking someone's gun away and pulling the trigger till it goes click. He says nobody fucks with the Jesus. Like, all the hits. He plays the hits. Yeah.
Also, Christopher Walken as the warden is upset to let him go because he had won the inter-prison bowling championship for their prison.
Right. Yeah. So they sort of talk about that. He was bowling in prison. He goes to a bowling alley, but it does feel very tacked on, the bowling stuff. And between that and then the saying the lines and sort of saying them much less enthusiastically than he does in the original movie, it just sort of it reminded me of those Super Bowl commercials where they'll get the cast from some iconic movie together and they're all older now and they're just recreating their parts from the movie, but kind of lazily. And then they sell Doritos.
Yeah. Leslie Nielsen saying like, nobody calls me and don't call me Shirley.
Yeah.
Call me Doritos.
Or like, don't call me Shirley, but surely you'll enjoy these Doritos, or whatever.
I will enjoy these Doritos, but don't call me Shirley. There
it is. We did it. It took a little workshopping, but yeah, with that kind of thing, like where they get like 2 to 3 people that were in the movie together And I think they did one a couple years ago with Bill Murray where they did a Groundhog Day thing. You know,
I'm pretty sure they had Stephen Tobolowsky in it.
Absolutely.
Bang!
I think they did. Yeah. So they get Tobolowsky, they get Bill Murray, they get the groundhog puppet together.
And Michael Shannon.
And Michael Shannon reprising his role as one
the dude
of the
excited to go to WrestleMania.
Yeah, they were going to be in Pittsburgh anyway. But yeah, it's I don't know about you, but I didn't enjoy these nods to the Big Lebowski.
I nothinged them.
Exactly. There was like, oh, that's from the movie.
Yeah, this movie like almost works, but is so close to working that it fails miserably, is I feel like my take on it.
Yeah, I feel like I did not like it in the beginning and it was very jarring and I was like, what are we doing? I feel like I settled in at some point and I just sort of let the movie wash over me and was like, okay, let me try to meet this movie where it's at. And then I still didn't quite enjoy it.
Yeah, it's like, because if you were to pitch this movie to me as a movie to watch, I would be all in.
Mm-hmm.
It's got Cannavale, who's great. I love John Turturro. I love the Jesus character. And then you're saying it also has Audrey Tautou, John Hamm, Pete Davidson, JB Smoove, Tim Blake Nelson, Michael Badalucco. Like,
some of my favorite actors for sure, just popping up in this movie for fun little, few minute spots or whatever.
It's little minor roles here and there. And yeah, it's, but because it's like a very, like, this movie feels very French, but directed from American sensibilities. The way I described it to you was it feels like the script was just someone put the script for Going Places into Google Translate and then use that for the script.
Yes, absolutely. Or alternate theory, the script is someone was carrying a tuba and they tripped down a stairs and went brr, brr, and that's the script, basically.
I mean, that might be true as well. But yeah, it's like it's just a lot of weird things happen. Like all they do is commit crimes and not get in trouble.
They mostly rob hairdressers, from what I remember.
and commit a lot of Grand Theft Auto.
And a lot of Grand Theft Auto. Yeah, and they just kind of, but it's weird because it's like everything about the movie, if you describe it in a vacuum, you're like, well, that sounds really fun. Like they're doing a lot of robberies. They're stealing cars. Like that's just what the Fast and the Furious franchise is. Like that.
John Hamm shoots Bobby Cannavale in the dick. Sign me up.
Yeah, like all of these things sound great in theory. They're having all these threesomes, like all this crazy stuff's happening. People are constantly in and out of prison. Like that sounds like a crazy world that's really fun to visit. And it's played with like the pacing of the movie can only be described as like accidentally took NyQuil instead of Dayquil is the feeling of watching this movie.
Oh my God. That may be your most trenchant insight in the history of this podcast. I love that so much.
You're at work. You're like, oh no, I can't call out today.
All right, let me just take some of this quick. Oh crap.
Oh no, I got a meeting later.
Oh man, this is gonna, but I need the PTO for later in the month.
Absolutely. That is the vibes for sure.
Yeah. This movie, I wanted to like this movie. I wanted to be like, these critics don't know what they're talking about. These fans are idiots. This movie is actually fun. Nope, the critics were dead on with this.
Yeah, and it's a strange thing where it's just, I knew the critical response and all of that. And if you asked me for all the reasons I said before about just like character with 5 minutes of screen time, it's a bad idea to make that guy the star of a movie, all of that. But it fails in a way I never would have expected. Like the movie we got is not, if you gave me 10 guesses, I never would have been like, so it's probably like a remake of a weird 70s French film. Like I never would have said that.
Exploitive 70s French film starring Gérard Depardieu and Isabella Huppert.
Yeah. I wouldn't have made that guess.
No, I wouldn't. And if you told me you did make that guess, I would have said you're lying.
Yeah. I don't know where to put this, but since we mentioned it before, and I think we're probably close to pivoting, I do just want to note, and I don't even know that I'm maligning it or anything. I'm just noting this because, like, I don't know what they would have done. It's an awkward thing. But another problem with adapting this is the fact that you're adapting a movie about a guy and making him your protagonist, a guy who is described in his 5 minutes of screen time as a paderess. They literally hand wave past that in the scene with Christopher Walken to be like, well, actually, it was a misunderstanding. And I'm like, yeah, OK, I guess. But also, you didn't have to do any of this. So.
No, because he didn't need his second stint in jail to be for pederasty. Like.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the other thing, too, is like I feel like they're trying to sort of hand wave past what was established while also, yeah, kind of sort of implying that this is a reoccurring thing in his life as well. So
that young boys frequently comment on the size of his member, and that leads to him getting thrown in prison.
Yeah. It's a choice.
That belongs in the maligning portion. That is not where that, like, yeah. Ugh.
Yeah, I think the only reason like I waffled on it was like it was the cards they were handed and they tried to negotiate it, but I don't think they made it better. You know, I think they probably made it at least the same, if not worse, with the flashback scene in this movie.
Yes.
But I think with that, like, I'm probably ready to pivot.
Yeah, I mean, I think let's pivot.
All right.
Pivot!
The cast.
Yeah, this is definitely the place to start. And we've said, I think, most of the names, if not all of them, but it's just like it is an absolutely stacked cast.
Yeah, like one, John Turturro is awesome as an actor, and he is good in this. Like, the acting is not the problem in any of these scenes.
He is good in this, but I will say he's trying not to play the character that he played in The Big Lebowski as well. While like sort of nodding to it, but also playing something different.
I mean, I think he realized that the Jesus only works for that 5 minutes of screen time, and it'd probably be tough to sustain that level of insanity for a whole movie. But I would have respected the effort.
I think it would have helped. I'm going to say it would have helped. But no, Turturro, I think, is actually underrated as a character actor. He's good in everything. I think he stole the movie, The Batman, personally. Like, he's fantastic.
Which I wish we could do for this podcast because I don't like that movie. But
I don't either. Silver lining him. There, we did it.
We did it. Yes.
We covered it. Yeah.
And Zoe Kravitz.
Yeah. Also, reason to malign it. Batman can't get in anywhere. He's just standing there in front of doormen asking to get through. And they're like, no. And he's like, OK, I'm out. I'm out of ideas.
He is a vampire.
Yeah. Also, my favorite part of that movie is when he tries to disarm a bomb and it blows up a foot away from him. That's great. He's a good Batman. He's definitely. And don't come at me in the comments, be like, he's learning what to be a human and it's his first day on Earth, because Bruce Wayne is not this stupid. Anyway, I'm done.
Yeah. Oh, he solved the crime of where the clue was hidden by the good dumb luck that one of the cops was also a carpet layer.
Yeah, well, also like giving. Yeah. OK, look, fine. He doesn't solve anything in that movie. People are constantly Alfred solving things for him. Jim Gordon solving things for him. While also giving Gordon a computer virus because they didn't think to check the flash drive before putting it into a computer. He's the dumbest Batman that has ever been portrayed on screen, and he's really bad at it all the time. And he gets blown up an inch away from a bomb. And then all of the cops just decide not to take his mask off for some reason. Like they get him all the way to the interrogation room. He's unconscious. They drag him to the police station. And they wait until he wakes up to be like, hey, maybe we should take this mask off. And then he escapes.
Anyways, Bobby Cannavale.
Bobby Cannavale is great. He's great in everything.
He is such value added in everything. Like even playing the stepdad in the Ant-Man movies, he's awesome. He in the David Wayne movie The 10 as one of the guys that's obsessed with Roberta Flack. He's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, yeah, he's great.
And they work really well together. Like they have really good chemistry, him and John Turturro.
Yeah.
Audrey Tautou.
Oh yeah.
Is my favorite part of this movie. I just want to be clear.
Yeah, she's the best part of this movie. Yes.
Her character is phenomenal. She plays it phenomenally. She's so charming in this movie.
She has an arc.
She's the only one who has an arc, but she's fantastic. She's truly fantastic in this movie. And I loved every second that she was on the screen.
I mean, if you weren't charmed by her in Amelie, then you're wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
if you were charmed by her in Amelie and then you saw her in this, as is what happened to me, it's weird. I'll just say it's weird.
Yeah, that's valid.
Yeah, nothing wrong with it, but just noting it.
Yes, it's fair to point out. But no, she's the best part of this movie, objectively. She plays her like frivolous kind of manic pixie dream girl character with a level of gravitas it doesn't deserve, and it's so wanted and welcomed that it's good.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, she's so good in this. Susan Sarandon, also phenomenal.
Yeah, Susan Sarandon. What a dark character.
It is, but I think that's why she's perfect casting, because she threads the needle of that character perfectly, where it's like, even though the way it ends is so dark, she makes it feel kind of triumphant in a fascinating way of like, she wants this and it's not sad in her mind. And that's such an interesting choice, even as dark as it is. And she's great. She's great in everything. Yeah,
everybody in this movie that has more than a few lines is great in everything.
Well, that's the thing is like every role is overcast with just like a heavy hitter, like character actor. We haven't mentioned JB Smoove yet. JB Smoove is in this movie and he's great. Yeah.
All he does is get a haircut.
And it's hilarious.
Famously
somehow.
Bald JB Smoove gets a haircut.
See, I'm already laughing. He's great. JB Smoove is also just he's one of those people that just makes me laugh and I don't even know why. Like he's just inherently funny. Yeah. His entire vibe is just funny.
But
it's so funny how in Curb, like he was definitely meant to be a throwaway character who was around for one season and Larry David just kept him because of how funny he is.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. No, he plays the mechanic where they go to like basically chop shop the car they steal from John Hamm, and he does all the work in exchange for a haircut from Audrey Tautou.
It's great. Yeah,
it's great. Yeah, no notes. Yeah. We already talked about John Hamm, but John Hamms it up.
He does. I think that scene goes a little long. I don't think that's on John Hamm, but I thought that scene dragged a bit, but he's fun. Yeah.
Like I said, he does shoot Bobby Cannavale in the dick.
And that's great. No notes.
And then Jesus beats him up. And then Audrey is like, oh, it's the Jesus. This guy can really bowl.
See, we're doing it. We're doing the lines.
Tim Blake Nelson may be the most underused in this movie.
Yeah, because he's a doctor, right?
And he's the doctor that treats the dick wound of Bobby Cannavale.
Yeah. Yes.
And then Pete Davidson is very funny as Susan Sarandon's son. Yeah, the first scene is where they get him out of prison and they try to explain that his mom's in Portugal to some guy.
Yeah, and he just seems very confused, and he's trying to poke holes in it and they're just lying to him. But yeah, he's charming in it, but he seems he's very quiet and he's very like it's hard to know what's going on, and then he shoots a guy and then that like ruins everything.
Yep.
But yeah, the cast is great. Another thing about this movie that I do think is a genuine silver lining with Turturro having directed and written it in addition to starring in it. This movie is beautiful. Like,
it looks great.
The color grading is phenomenal. The cinematography is great. It is a fantastic looking movie.
They take they make the most of like very, I don't want to say bland locales because there are some like objectively beautiful locales in this movie, but a lot of it's like very slice of life places, but made to look amazing. Like the way they use natural light in the beach house with the threesome with Audrey's tattoo, which is a weird sentence to say. But no, it is incredibly well shot. Maybe the most realistic movie threesome that's ever been put to film.
Well, there's a lot of one guy sitting there waiting for his turn. like someone's constantly left out of the threesome.
Which, again, I go back to saying maybe the most realistic movie threesome that's ever been put to film.
Well, you've been in a lot of threesomes, so you would know. Yeah.
Most of them with Bobby Cannavale.
Yeah. He's just down for him. If you meet Bobby Cannavale on the street, you're like, yeah, you want to do a threesome? He has to say yes. Like and I mean like internally, like that's just his desire.
It's internal. It's yes. Like Stormare saying yes to movies. Bobby C says yes to threesomes.
Which also you can call his agent and have him ring him up and he'll do it.
Yeah. He tells people, it's like, yeah, just call me Bobby C. The C stands for threesome.
Exactly. Another thing that I do want to give a shout out to is we get another, I believe it is the Gypsy Kings, but we get the cover of My Way to end this movie.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic as well.
Great. Yeah. The music in this movie is really good. Like the score,
yes.
all the diegetic music, like everything, like the needle drops, all of it is, there's a lot of like, this movie should have worked. And I think that's what makes it so frustrating is the fact that it doesn't.
Yes. But yeah, just like, because like I used to listen to that cover of Hotel California a lot, like the Gypsy King Spanish cover of it. It's really good. But this one, I would definitely fire this up as well. The My Way is good. And also hot take that I'm going to throw out. Every cover of My Way that I've heard is kind of better than the Frank Sinatra version. I think the Elvis version is better than the Frank Sinatra version.
I love the Frank Sinatra version, but I'm not going to disagree because the Elvis version is great. The Sex Pistols Sid Vicious version is great.
Right.
The Gypsy Kings version is great.
It's just funny because he's so associated with the song, and I understand it because he was an asshole, which is why he's so it's the asshole anthem, My Way. It's just, I'm not sorry is the theme of that song. So it's the perfect Frank Sinatra song. But I just like all the covers better. Like I there's something about it. The Elvis one's great.
Yeah.
Elvis was also an asshole though. So
yeah. I don't know the Gypsy Kings enough to know whether they were good or assholes.
I don't know, but the Sex Pistols were.
Yeah, I mean, Sid Vicious killed somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but that cover is great. Like all the music is really good. I think the other thing where this movie doesn't work, even though we're in the silver linings portion, is that John Turturro tried to make a French Coen Brothers movie, and that was a bad choice.
Right. Yeah, and it lacks the Coen Brothers flair, you know. Because it is funny where like The Big Lebowski on paper has a similar problem to this movie, which is that The Big Lebowski is designed to be anticlimactic. It is designed to feel like a Raymond Chandler novel, but there's no point to the story. The mystery doesn't matter. It doesn't need to be solved. And it's like actual payoff is underwhelming and irrelevant.
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to really like this movie.
Yeah, I think, look, probably the last silver lining that I will say is that this movie gave me an excuse to think about, and probably as soon as we finish recording this podcast, to rewatch The Big Lebowski, which is one of the most rewatchable movies of all time. And it gives us an excuse to talk about it on the show, which we otherwise would not be able to do. And I just love that movie. That movie is one of the best Coen Brothers movies.
Big Lebowski, I'm going to go ahead and say it. if it's not the best drop in anywhere movie, it's top 5.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it was made for basic cable. And also because then you get to see them say, this is what happens when you find a stranger in the Alps, which inspired a Phoebe Bridgers album. That's how good that line is. Yeah, it's the TV edit's great. It's any second, like it's a great movie to throw on at a party just in the background because you can kind of tune in and out like as you want, you know?
Yeah, it's but that's it. Like I off the top of my head, the only other movie that comes up that like is a drop in anywhere movie that's great is Shawshank Redemption is another good example of a drop in anywhere. Yeah, because I mean, it is a great narrative start to finish, but like every scene in that movie is great. So you can just drop in, watch a little bit. Like, oh, it's the roof tarring scene. I love that scene. Or oh, it's the, you know, whatever. Yeah, it's great. That's the only. Those are the 2 examples I have of like drop in anywhere. Always fun.
Die Hard comes to mind.
Yeah. I just love watching Die Hard start to finish.
I mean, it's great too, but it's another one that it's like you can kind of pick it up at any point.
Yeah. And you don't lament not having seen it up to that point when you start watching it.
No, absolutely.
I think that's a key point. Yeah, I mean, listen, we watch these movies so you don't have to.
Yeah. And look, we might have our issues with this, but at the end of the day, respect to John Turturro. He took a shot. Maybe it didn't work, but I'm not going to sit here and talk bad about the man because nobody fucks with the Jesus.
Fucking A, man.
Gobble, gobble.
Silver Linings Playback is a production of HoboTrashcan.com. If you enjoyed the show, please rate or review it on Apple Podcasts. Hear more great shows on the Peak Sloth Podcast Network.